Romance anime. They come in all shapes and sizes with each telling a unique story, even though most share very similar settings. It's definitely one of the most popular genres out there in the anime world, with there being over 2,000 different romance listed titles on my anime list. From the emotional tearjerkers such as Your Lie in April, to the shoujo classics like Kimi ni Todoke, they all tell their own stories as they tug on your heartstrings and make you feel an unforgettable bliss. Of course, the titles I just told you are the popular titles, and they're known to be, well, good. However, today we'll be digging deep into the romance rabbit hole as we pass all the peak shows until we reach the cesspit that lies at the bottom. The anime that I like to call the 7 deadly sins of romance anime. School Days, Boku no Pico, Yosuga no Sora, Infinite Stratos, Kiss Exis, the Clannad movie, and the 7th sin is what we'll be discussing today. Today in Let's Talk, Rent a Girlfriend. I tend to be a fan of the things people consider abominations to society, such as fireworks, the isekai genre, and erihisu. And that's why going to Rent a Girlfriend, I expected the same thing to happen. A universally hated anime that I would end up thinking is the next birth of Christ. But oh boy did that loser prove me wrong. Usually I try to stretch my full opinion to the later half of the video, but let me just get out of the way. Rent a Girlfriend is... This series was more torturous to watch than Boku no Pico, and I say that with every bit of hatred I have. Anime fans have been drowning in harem anime since the dawn of time, and the protagonists we're used to are all cool, edgy, and probably have worse trauma than guts. However, Rent a Girlfriend sets itself apart by giving us this dweeb, Kazuya Kinoshita. I never thought I'd meet a protagonist I hated more than Makoto Ito, but then this Ed Sheeran knockoff entered my life. Rent a Girlfriend turns the actual real-life concept of renting girlfriends into a trashy romance. And with us watching Kazuya get broken up with within the first 30 seconds of the episode, we're thrown right into watching him be a desperate piece of crap with the insecurity of a walnut. Now of course, the only solution to getting rid of his sadness, like any sane person would think, is renting a girlfriend. Or more specifically, renting the main girl of our series, Chizuru Ichinose, aka Chizuru Mizuhara, aka the actual selling point of Rent a Girlfriend. Chizuru has the ambition of one day becoming an actress so her grandma can see her on the big screen, and Kazuya has the ambition of... The series in a nutshell is Kazuya relentlessly wasting tens of thousands of yen to try and eventually wear down Chizuru to the point she'll go out with him. Kind of like the Big Bang Theory of anime. They may not explicitly say this, but that's pretty much what's going on here. Now if you're familiar with the harem genre, you'll know Chizuru is not the only girl Kazuya is going to end up crossing paths with. Here we have Mami Nanami, the girl who broke up with Kazuya in the first 30 seconds of the episode. And because of that, she's the most respectable character of the whole show, until you realize she's still in love with that freakazoid, and then you lose all hope for her. If I had to describe Mommy in 3 words, it'd be USA, USA, USA! Next we have Ruka Sarashina, another rental girlfriend who upon meeting Kazuya, instantly falls in love with him for God knows why. Ruka is only here to serve her role of being a lost cause. She tries and tries to earn Kazuya's love, but in the end, we all know she's just a childhood friend without the label. And finally we have Sumi Sakurzawa. Sumi's cute, that's about it. She doesn't say much and she doesn't do much, but she's cute, and that's all the fans of this series need. Oh, what's that, Mr. Manager? I'm forgetting a girl? No, I'm not forgetting a girl. There are 4 girls in Rent a Girlfriend, and there will only ever be 4 girls in Rent a Girlfriend. So you've met these other 3 girls, you probably think they're cute, they might be interesting characters to get invested in. Well, unfortunately for you, Rent a Girlfriend is ready to give you the middle finger, because this show has no care for the other girls at all. The harem tag in this show, along with the other girls, is the biggest honey trap in anime history, because the moment you put this show on, you'll slowly realize, hey, it's not a harem anime, it's just Chizuru the anime. Hell, the girls are slowly but surely losing all their screen time when they got them opening. With each season, they slowly fade away like they got Thanos snap. I'd go as far as to say having Mommy on the cover of season 3 was bigger clickbait than having Freddy Fazbear at 3 AM. Now when it comes to trashy anime, there are 2 kinds. There's the good kind of trash, and then there's trash. Rent a Girlfriend is unfortunately the latter. This series is built on lies, cringe, and grandma love. Okay, on a real note, is it just me that senses the tension between best friend number 1 and Kazuya's grandmother? It's not just me, right? Moving on. The main connection between Chizuru and Kazuya is their lie. In April. Okay, forgive me, that was a stupid joke. To simplify things, the grandmothers of both Kazuya and Chizuru think they're both dating. That's the whole lie. I'm not even joking. The lie that keeps Chizuru connected to this beta male is that small. It's such a small lie that could easily be dealt with, but of course, we're dealing with the two biggest smooth brains I've seen in anime history, so of course this lie escalates to the point it lasts over a year. Hell, it keeps lasting till Chizuru's grandmother kicks the bucket. With that, I think it kicks us right into the main thing this video is letting me rant about. Sure, Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 1 was a pretty mediocre bad, okay, it was a dog crap anime, but I'll even admit, Season 2 managed to take a step in the right direction, with Rent-a-Girlfriend managed to become slightly more enjoyable. It wasn't enough to put a smile on my face, but it was improving slowly but surely. It was about just as good as Sword Art Online, and that says something for this show, which is why going to Season 3, I expected another increase in quality. But oh boy did it fall so far. Rent-a-Girlfriend is... But Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 3? It's... I guess it was my mistake for having some faith in this series. I didn't even ask for a lot. Just a slight increase in quality would have been enough to make me happy. I wasn't asking for Clannad quality, but maybe it could have been as good as Orange. I would have been happy with that. Instead, Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 3 chooses to crush my soul like I'm Ken Kaneki. And after completing that season, I felt violated because of how bad it was watching Kazuya be Kazuya. The third season very obviously tries to tackle loss, especially on Chizuru's side with her grandparents. And when he was finally getting introduced to her grandpa in a flashback, he easily becomes the most sane and best character of the whole series. It'd sure be a shame if something were to happen dead on the floor. I usually prefer not to take the mick out of characters dying in anime, but honestly, Rent-a-Girlfriend reached a point of such patheticness that I'm in all support for making fun of the dead. Wait, that sounds bad. Season 3 of Rent-a-Girlfriend ended up being 40% actual new content, and then 60% flashbacks to stuff that happened not even 5 minutes ago. I understand people watching the series weekly wouldn't have minded it, but when you're watching the anime in one go like me, it becomes quite a pain to be reminded of every little thing, every moment. I could barely go 2 minutes without being reminded that, hey, remember Grandpa and Grandma? Yeah, those two, they're dead. It was very difficult to get through that season. Sure, there were the good moments with most of the movie making journey, but when you compare that to everything else in the season, such as the depressing excuse of a sad scene, the constant mood shifts, and the fact that Yaimori exists, the good is just overshadowed incredibly by the stinking garbage. And when I had finally completed my watch of Rent-a-Girlfriend's 3 seasons, there was only one thought in my almost deceased brain. I had finally understood what Eren Yeager was yapping about this whole time. I was free. It was a sense of euphoria I had never felt before. Of course, that was until I woke up the next morning to a notification letting me know the 4th season had been announced. I think that was the closest point in my entire life to falling into depression. I'd barely understand even liking this anime as a guilty pleasure. You genuinely have to be some sort of masochist to enjoy it. Maybe if you sent me a 10-page minimum essay on why you enjoy this series, then I'd probably give you the benefit of the doubt. That's only a probably, because I genuinely be baffled in how you managed to put up with Kazuya. Not only is he a pathetic excuse for a protagonist, not only is the only riz in his arsenal groping, and not only is his room a disgusting mess, but worse than all of that, worse than everything you've seen of this man, is his drip. What is that? Kirito may have been bland as hell, but at least he still looked bad as hell. But Kazuya? Just being reminded of his fit throughout the anime is enough to make me vomit. At this rate, I genuinely think the author is purposely messing with me. I could honestly deal with a cringe-inducing series, but why the hell does he have to be wearing those clothes? It's not right. Even a weeb's drip would still look better than whatever outfit Kazuya has chosen to wear for the day. I swear on my love for Clannad, the only clothing this man has ever worn to look decent was a basic suit. That's it! I refuse to believe there's anything else that looks even remotely pleasing to the eyes in his arsenal of clothes. Even the comedy, one of the series' only positives, was completely trampled upon in this season. Season 1 and 2 did not have a lot going for themselves, but I can at at least say they were actually entertaining to a certain extent. And even at the end of each episode, there was a slight interest in watching the next. But when it came to season 3, it was like I was watching a whole different show, and all the good elements it had were completely thrown out the window. The humor of this show had reached such a point where it actually become the Big Bang Theory of anime. Pretty girl plus dweeb guy who does things for pretty girl without any pride until years pass for the big payoff. Literally, ask me the difference between both pictures and I couldn't tell you. So in short, Rent-A-Girlfriend season 3 is an utter mess. I wish I could have been there to warn you not to watch this series, but unfortunately, I think if you're at this point in the video, then you're most likely already too far gone. All I can do now is hope that the 4th season of Rent-A-Girlfriend manages to help this series gain some sort of redemption. And even if the 4th season doesn't do the trick, we always have the eventual 5th, or maybe 6th, or even the 7th season. We really live in a world where Rent-A-Girlfriend has become the one piece of romance, huh? Someone make that man end his manga already, please. But on that note, I'm Tenshi, and this was unfortunately Rent-A-Girlfriend. Mata ne mina.